Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another monthly Pause Reset Brunch podcast. I am your host, Natalie Francis-Clarke. Thank you so much for joining another month with us. So, I'm truly excited, and I'll tell you why. My guest this month is Lindsey Patel, right? So, Lindsey is the co owner of a family owned Charlotte local gourmet gluten-free donut food truck. It's called Donut I Love You, right? The name says it all, right? So funny story, I found out about Donut I Love You when a nonprofit Beds for Kids, shout out to Chloe and Lauren, they had an appreciation for resource partners, and they said they were going to have a gluten-free truck. And I'm thinking, if I'm going to eat a donut, let it be a regular donut, okay? But this is what I have to tell you. I am so glad that I went. I'm so glad that I was deliciously persuaded by Donut I Love You. So we're not even going to waste any further time. I'm here to introduce you to Lindsey Patel. Hey, Lindsey.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for
Hi.
having me.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you for trusting me. So, before I begin, I usually like to just ask my guests, are they snacking or drinking on anything at the moment?
I just have water right now, no donuts for us.
H2O. H2O over here too. I really want a coffee, but no H2O. I'm saying, all right, H2O can do the job just as well.
And yeah, gotta stay hydrated.
So, okay, so Lindsey, before we get into Donut I Love You, share with us what was Lindsey's life before Donut I Love You.
Before donuts, um, for me, the average day was the corporate 9 to 5, if you will. I worked actually in the insurance industry for the last 15 years, so completely other end of the spectrum from donuts, from restaurants, from food trucks. Your typical corporate industry job that, was stressing me out from trying to do it all, plus, have a personal life outside of the corporate world, which can sometimes be a little challenging. Um, so for me, it was insurance world, not anything glamorous. It's a topic nobody likes to talk about because it's an arduous topic that is boring for most people, except for people like me that I got excited to talk about it. But um, so yeah, it was the corporate mundane 9 to 5, and my husband worked in the restaurant business. So for us, it was a little black and white as far as going into the new venture that we decided to go into. But for him, it was a little bit smoother transition than for me.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did the concept of this gluten-free donut food truck come from?
Yeah, so
Thank you, by the way, for people like me who do have a sensitivity to gluten, but yet we still torture ourselves. But thank you.
well, I'm glad you can enjoy them and not be tortured. That's what we aim for. For us, it was actually the story is a comical. We happened to be at a farmer's market in Charlotte, and my mother-in-law was visiting, and her and I saw a donut cart. Somebody was selling donuts, and they were in a little bag, and um, I've never met a carbohydrate that I don't love. And I saw my eyes just immediately went to this donut cart. And I'm like, I'm getting donuts. And my mother-in-law and I went over there, and I took a bite, and I'm like, it's all right. It's not great, but it's it's sugar and cinnamon and carbs. What's not to really enjoy? And my husband came over and he said, well, why'd you pay, I think it was like $6 something for this small little bag. And I said, well, because they're donuts. Why not? Everybody loves donuts. And he's like, I could do them better. And I said, so why don't you? And we just kind of evolved from there. From, okay, we know we wanted to start our own business. We know we wanted to do something food related. And our concept just began from that farmer's market visit, and kind of just kept growing and growing. And okay, what do we want to do? What can we do to stand out from everybody else? What can we do where we can allow the masses to be able to enjoy the donuts and not just certain people? And that's where the gluten-free came in,
Mm.
to be able to have everybody be able to enjoy them that may not, may have celiac or intolerance of, of gluten. And that's kind of that niche that we found that, okay, we can hit more people if we do it this way. But, who doesn't love a good fresh donut made right in front of you where it comes out nice and hot, and, fresh fruit toppings or whatever you choose. And that's really where it evolved from, and started growing from.
That's awesome. Um, yeah, that's awesome. When did you actually launch? And if you want to share some of the challenges you may have
Sure.
had. Hmm.
Yeah, so we launched, gosh, it'll be 5 years this summer. My husband left his restaurant job, May of 2019, and we had our first event in August of 2019. So we're right before a pandemic and the world shut down is when when we launched, but who would have known? Um, and challenges, we've had different challenges come up. Anything from just starting your own business, there's always going to be things that pop up. You're an entrepreneur, so you know that, whether it's funding, whether it's just being able to get your word out, it's marketing. um, you're faced with lots of different challenges. Our attitude has always been, all right, come at us. What do you have? Let's get this over with. Let's hit it head on, and let's navigate it and go. Um, of course, some things, knock you down a little bit, but you get back up, and you continue on. For us, it was really the biggest thing, of course, the pandemic. We were fortunate that we were able to continuously grow during that time. And I know it sounds kind of weird to say, because so many people did get knocked down and weren't able to get back up. But a lot of neighborhoods and communities reached out to us and said, hey, restaurants are closed. We're bringing food trucks to our community. So can you come out? And that was really, to be honest and transparent, that was our bread and butter. I was still working my corporate job, but my husband would go out with the truck. And that's actually when we added a second truck, because the demand was so high, for us. And we were so different from every other food truck. We weren't your typical food. We're donuts and coffee. So there wasn't anybody like us. So we had that on our side, as far as, there's multiple taco trucks, multiple burgers trucks, and things like that. So finding that area where we could go in, especially in a Saturday morning. Who doesn't want to, go outside and have some fresh air during a pandemic,
Hmm.
and go get donuts and coffee in the Saturday morning, and you're just down the street from where you live, and you don't have to worry about anything. So for us, it was, the pandemic did pose different challenges, but not like it did for some. Of course, anytime you have a business, you have to figure out, your challenges can also be turned into strengths as well. Looking at, what can I do to make myself more visible? What can I do to make myself more marketable? So we found out real quick that doing our own marketing wasn't something that we were good at. We're not social media people. And that's where the world is going, is social media. And for us, that was like, okay, we're in our 40s. We don't know what we're doing when it comes to social media. I need to like things, I need to post, I need to make reels. How do you make reels? And so it was, let's hire somebody to do this, somebody who knows what to do, because this is beyond our scope of expertise. And we're going to screw something up if we continue doing it. So um we found out where our strengths are and where they're not, and we hired people to do the things that we couldn't do or were more challenging for us. Um, and in really just kind of, being humble about it too, because you want to keep that control. Um, but a lot of times, you have to go, okay, I can't control this. I've got to let somebody else do it, and that's okay. I just have to own that and move forward. And so that's what we did with marketing, and then of course, some other challenges that just come up as you go. But our biggest thing was going, okay, we need help in certain areas, and allowing that to happen.
Right, right. I know sometimes some entrepreneurs don't realize that until much later, you know, but you all, I mean, that's good. You realize your strength and weakness. Trust me, I'm feeling you on this because I'm looking for a marketing person myself. So I feel you. When you said that, I said, I'm not, I'm social media, I try,
I
but
know.
it's not, for me, I kind of cringe, like, okay, here I go again, getting something, you know? But
Yep, yep,
it needs to get done, right? So kudos that you found
exactly.
to
Yeah.
do that. What advice would you give someone who wants to get into the food truck business? Like if it was something that, besides of course like the marketing, but if there was something that you wish you knew,
Yep.
um, what would that be? What would you tell someone?
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. Um, I'd like to say that it's easy, and once you're doing it and you start you're doing it, it's a piece of cake. But each day poses its own areas of learning. Each day poses its own challenges. It's not to say that it's not rewarding, because it definitely is. Um, it's more of a, you know, I need to do this. I need to make sure that I'm doing it right. I'm doing it to the best of my ability. And, that's what I need to continue on with. On the second, on the same token, you do have those rewards where, everything is going great, and you get to see the successes and the fruits of your labor, and you're like, this is absolutely, this headache yesterday is worth it today. And it's everything is great. With any job, there's pros and cons, with anything. uh, for me, it's been, definitely a big learning curve, because I wasn't in or I wasn't in the restaurant business. I was in a different industry. I had a lot of learning to do. Whereas my husband, it was a lot more natural for him to flow into. So for us, it was him, going, okay, this is why we're doing it this way. This is why we're doing this. This is why we're doing this. Um, but the biggest advice I can give is be open to feedback. Be open to learning. Be open to know that you're not the expert. Whether you were in the restaurant field or not, there's so much to learn. And there's so much that you can continue. I'm still learning, and we've been in the industry for, almost 5 years, and I'm still learning. My husband's still learning. Um, but it's one of those things where, um just be open to what comes at you, because there's going to be quite a bit that does. um and don't be afraid to ask questions. Find
Mhm.
somebody who is in the field or who has a truck, and say, hey, can I pick your brain? I'm looking at going into this business. Can we sit down and chat for 15-20 minutes, and I can ask you questions. You can tell me, like, what's a day in your life of a food truck owner. um we did ask questions of people that we knew. We talked to people. We've felt out, okay, do we want to do a store? Do we want to do a truck? What do we want to do first? Do we eventually want to do both and have trucks and a store? and having those goals and then finding people who can, talk to us and educate us on pros and cons of each. And that's really the best advice that I can give is talking to people and asking
Mhm.
questions. And you'll be so surprised as large of a community as the food truck industry is and restaurant business is, it's a small knit community and people are so supportive of others. And I'm sure you found this with your podcast. People want to help. They want to, be as helpful to others as they can,
Mhm.
because that's just our human nature. And people are willing to talk and explain and help and guide. And that would probably be the best advice that I could give is don't be afraid to ask questions and find people who will talk to you.
Awesome. Awesome. Which kind of leads to my next question, that feeling of community. It seemed, I looked through your website and, just seeing the places that I've seen you at is evident that community
Hmm.
means a lot
Yep.
to Donut I Love You, right? It's evident in where you source your coffee, which you can tell us about that later, or where you source your fruits, even down to the cute little wooden forks, you know. Um, why is that so important?
For us, family is important to us. It's
Mhm.
it's the root of who we are as a husband and wife. As what's evident in our family is closeness and um, supporting each other. And we wanted to bring that into what we do as a business. And so that's our community. Our community is paramount to our success.
Mhm.
And so what we wanted to do is go, okay, where can we support outside of our business, whether it's through charities, whether it's through who we get our coffee through, and we get our coffee from a local roaster because we wanted to support another small business. Um, doing charities, we pick two charities every year and we support that charity, whether it's through time, whether it's through financial resources or promoting that charity on our site, and who we are. And that's what we do each year. Um, and we've found that eh, having those community connections has only grown us. So from a business perspective, it's behooved us to do. Um, from a personal level, it's taught us a lot more about not only ourselves, but what we can do through our business as well. I mean, you know, I don't want to use the analogy of I'll scratch your back, you scratch my back, but that's exactly what it is. But we've found enjoyment through that. We've found that, we've become friends with the people that we get our coffee through, and they're expanding their business. We want to promote that for them. We want to help them. We want to be there for them and cheer them on, just as they're going to be the same back for us and cheer us on. And when you are going with the big box names, you don't have that personal connection. And not to say that you have to do everything local, but for us, we wanted to find somebody who was local, and use them as much as we can, and support them just as they would support us. And you don't get that with the big box names. Not to say that we don't use the big box names, because we do. You have to, get some of our items that we get are from big stores, and
Mhm.
um that's just part of it. But wherever we can, we use local.
Awesome. Let's go to the menu.
Sure.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm still hooked on Oreos.
The Oreo, yep.
Oh my goodness.
I love
It's
it.
so good. And every time I keep saying I'm gonna try the strawberry version,
Hmm.
and I just can't seem to, go past that. I will though. I will. But, but where did you come up with the concept, the names,
Yep.
even the way you put it together? let me explain to you. When they say gourmet gluten-free, I mean it looks delicious. It tastes delicious. But
Thank you.
where did the menu that took creativity.
Hmm.
You're already doing gluten-free, and here you are, you're adding that creative touch with the toppings and things like that.
Yeah, so a lot of trial and error. Um, I will say the names are all my husband. He has this creative side to him that he came up with names for each of the donuts. And some are a spin-off of jokes or things that we've, heard. And, American Pie, we've all seen the movie.
Mhm.
Well, my age group has all seen the movie. But um, it's, there's trial and error. We've done a lot of different donut flavors that have not made the menu because it was just okay. This does not work together. This is not good. This does not pair well. So for us, it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of eating donuts that. Um, but my husband takes the trophy for the naming of them all. So I wish I could say that that was me, but it wasn't. Um, but we have a lot. We do a monthly feature as well, that we stopped doing for a little bit, but we're going to start back up again where we do each month is a different flavor, and it's something that's not on the menu. So stay tuned. You might want to try a different one besides your Oreo or the strawberries and cream. There might be another one to add into your mix. But I will tell you, the strawberries and cream and the Oreo are two number one and number two flavors. So you can't go wrong with either one.
Mhm, mhm.
Those are our top two sellers.
Awesome. So, congratulations because you all are getting your brick and mortar
Yes.
together. So, I would
Yes.
love to hear more about that, location, if you have a tentative date, where, like I'm excited.
Thank you. No, thank you so much. Yeah, our end goal has always been to have a brick and mortar store. That's been our goal since the beginning. As you mentioned, we signed a lease. We are looking to open. The tentative date is May 1st. As you know, permits and construction and all that could change a little bit, but the goal right now is a May of 2024. So we're super excited for that. It's going to be in Noda, so North Davidson, right off 35th Street, in Noda. So we are super excited. We were just there over the weekend doing some window cleaning and putting up our logos in the window, and um, getting everything started to start branding at us and get the construction going. So yeah, very excited.
That is awesome. Uh,
Thank you.
so, like I said, I do my research and I see, well, actually, yeah, I saw something if anyone was interested in becoming a franchisee.
Hmm. Yep.
So,
So we started franchising our brand. Um, with the store, we haven't done a lot with that, just being transparent, just because the store is taking precedence. But we do franchise our brand. So if somebody's interested in our concept, whether it's the trucks or the store, they can franchise our brand. Not in the Charlotte area, just because that's where we are,
mhm,
but any other metropolitan city outside of the Charlotte metro, um, we do franchise our brand. And like I said, that's kind of been put on the back burner just because of the store, but we still have
mhm.
the option available. So if somebody is interested, they definitely can reach out to us and we'll talk to them and give them all the details on franchising a donut I love you concept.
I think that would be great. Oh my goodness, that would be great.
Multiple
Um,
options.
I'm like,
One in every
ooh,
city.
oh my gosh, that would be awesome, 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 awesome. So, how would someone get a hold of you if they're
Yeah.
interested in opening a franchise or even just hey, I want to do an event. How do I get a hold of you?
Yeah, no, great question. So the best way to get a hold of us is through our website, which is donutiloveyou.com. And there's a contact us button. You just click on it and it goes fill out a little form and it goes right to my email and I respond within an hour normally.
Mhm.
Or they can reach out to us via social media, which is Facebook or Instagram is Donut I Love You. And it's DonutILoveu, the letter U, Donut I Love You. And you can reach out to us social media, phone, email, contact us page. We make it as easy as possible. That way people can reach out at any time. We do go to bed early because we have early morning events. So if you reach out to us, after 9 o'clock or so at night, we probably won't get back to you until the morning just because we are early to bed, early to rise. But easy way is, like I said, our website, which then goes right into my email box.
Mm. So, give us a fun fact about Lindsey Patel.
Ooh, fun fact. I love traveling. I
Mm.
think that's probably I've been to numerous countries. My goal is to visit every country. Um, and I want to fill in, I just renewed my passport and I want to fill every single page before it renews in 10 years. That is my goal. And I've got 2 stamps in it and I just renewed it this past November. So I'm on my way. um, but yeah, that's probably the most fun fact about me is that I love to travel. Something that's not as fun as I'm an avid reader. Um, I love reading, I love learning. Um, but yeah, my passion is traveling and visiting other cultures and seeing the world.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Awesome, awesome. So, and then the part of visiting other countries, who knows, a new item on the menu could be created by visiting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We trust me, when we went to France a couple years ago, we came back and we tried to mimic some different things and it just wasn't working.
Mm-hmm,
Um, but I'm always game for tasting new foods and trying to replicate them, whether it's on the truck or in my own kitchen. But um, you get a lot of ideas and a lot of
mm-hmm.
um, inspiration when you see other places and other countries, other cities. So yeah, definitely could see something on the menu that's you know wasn't there before from just one of our visits somewhere. Or who knows, we could put a donut I love you in Europe or in Asia or somewhere too. So
Love it, love it. So, from juggling family life and business, how do you practice self-care?
the $1 million question. Um, I'm huge on self-care.
Yeah.
It's something that I've gotten better at as I've gotten older. Um, whether it's my skincare routine or whether it's getting ample sleep or it's, making sure I'm drinking enough water. A lot of things, you feel like, oh, I have to do this. I have to drink, 64 ounces of water a day because that's what the doctor says. And, you try and do things just to make sure that you're doing it because you're supposed to. But I found that there's a lot of things that I found for me, whether it's pedicures or taking a bath or whether it's, going to the bookstore and getting a new book, finding what I enjoy is not necessarily what somebody else may enjoy. And I had to really dig into my own self-worth and go, okay, what do I enjoy doing? Reading, I love reading, I love getting a pedicure. So those are really the things that I started doing for myself,
Mhm.
um, because that's what self-care looks like to me. um, so in finding balance, because we, especially us as women, we tend to want to do it all.
Oh, yeah,
um,
yeah. Mhm.
and that's hard, that's hard to do it all and to have that weight on your shoulders. And like I said before, when I talked about we had to outsource some things because we just realized that, we had to find a marketing person. For me, it was, okay, what can I let go that's not on my shoulders so that I can have more time for me and have more of a work-life balance, because otherwise I'm going to want to be doing it all, and that's not doable in the long term. That's not it's not something that's sustainable. So really finding that time and finding what I enjoy doing for me. Um, and I mean, look different for somebody else, and it most likely will, because we all have different enjoyments. But finding that, and then once I realized what it was, that was when that light bulb moment went on,
Mhm.
and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for me. This is what I'm enjoying.
Love that. I love that. So, as we are wrapping up, is there anything else you want the audience to know about you, with the business? You know?
Just that, if you have a passion, to go for it. Don't be afraid to try. Um, it can be scary, it can be
Mhm.
daunting, but jumping in with 2 feet and going for it, and then of course being stubborn like I am, not wanting to fail at anything, but um, just don't be afraid to go for what you're wanting, and find that passion, because once you do find that passion, it
Mhm.
all falls into place. And that fire gets lit under you, and you get that momentum going, and it's no one's going to take that fire out. So yeah,
I agree. I totally agree. Along with that, I'll say and set boundaries as well. But I I
absolutely.
I absolutely love that. Um, Lindsey, thank you so much for
Oh, thank you.
agreeing to be a guest on Pause Reset Brunch. And I'm gonna tell you all out there in the Charlotte region, I'm serious. You definitely need to experience Donut I Love You. It is the presentation, the taste, it's all worth it.
Thank you.
And I don't feel guilty just because it says gluten free. So it takes a little so I'm good on that, right? So
Right.
Lindsey, once again, I want to thank you so much
Oh,
for
thank you.
for being my guest today. And if you can just state your email again and how anyone can contact you, that
Yep.
would be great.
Yep. So my email is Lindsey, Lindsey, at donutiloveyou.com. Or you can go right to our website at donutiloveyou.com and fill out our contact us page.
Awesome. So you heard it. So if you are out there and interested in being a guest on Pause Reset Brunch podcast, you may email me at pauseresetbrunch@gmail.com. You can go and check out my website, naturalandting.com, or check me out on Instagram. All right. So I just want to say have an awesome day on purpose, everyone. And once again, thank you, Lindsey.
Thank you, Natalie. Bye-bye.
Bye. So you just heard from Lindsey Patel from Donut I Love You. Um, like I said, please check them out. I really love their concept of the gluten free. The menu is creative. Um, the presentation, I can't say enough. So I hope that you gathered some great information for those of you out there in case you are interested in starting a food truck. I hope that she was able to provide some insights for you. Okay. So until next time, be good. Bye bye.